I woke up gasping for air, my heart hammering against my ribs. It had been happening for nights now. Waking up drenched in sweat, my body tense like it knew something I didn't. I tell myself it was just the summer heat, but deep down I knew it wasn't. There was something wrong, something off. My bedroom was the only one downstairs, separate from the rest of my family. When I first got it, I thought it was awesome. So much privacy, so much space. But lately, that sense of freedom had been replaced by something else. A creeping unease, like I wasn't alone. One night after another restless awakening, I got up to get some water. My throat was dry and my head felt foggy. I stumbled into the bathroom, filling my glass at the sink when I heard it, a faint rustling noise coming from my room. I froze, my pulse spiking. It was soft, I almost convinced myself I imagined it. I turned off the faucet and stood there listening. Nothing, just the hum of my fan. Still, the uneasy feeling clawed at my gut. I hesitated before stepping back into my room. Something felt wrong, but I couldn't pinpoint why. The air was thick, heavy, like the atmosphere right before a storm. My skin prickled with an instinctive fear I couldn't shake. Instead of getting back into bed, I turned around and walked up the stairs, settling onto the couch in the living room for the night. The next morning, my mom was folding laundry in my room when she made a face. "What is that smell?" she asked. I frowned. "What smell?" She shook her head. "I don't know, it's musty, kind of sour. You need to clean up in here." I sniffed the air. Nothing seemed off to me. Maybe she was imagining it. I shrugged it, I hadn't. That night, my dad switched on the AC, and I figured I'd finally sleep through the night. No weird wake-ups, no creepy feelings. Just a solid night's rest. I played video games until my eyelids grew heavy, then flicked off the TV and rolled onto my side, letting the cool air wash over me. I don't know how long I was out before I woke up again. But this time, I wasn't just awake, I was alert. Something had pulled me from sleep. A sound. I lay still, barely breathing, my ears straining. At first, there was nothing but the quiet hum of the vent. But then the AC cycled off, and in the silence that followed, I heard it breathing. Not mine. Slow, steady, too close. My stomach clenched. Every nerve in my body screamed at me to run. But I was frozen. My eyes darted around the room. My closet was closed. My door was locked. Then it hit me. The only place left to check was under my bed. I swallowed hard. My fingers trembled as I reached for the edge of the blanket, lifting it just enough to peek underneath. My breath hitched. There, nestled in the shadows, was a man. A filthy, disheveled man curled up on a pile of blankets. His face was inches from mine. His eyes were closed, his chest rising and falling with each slow, deep breath. My entire body went cold. My lungs locked up, my limbs stiff with terror. Then, something inside me snapped. I kicked backward, scrambling out of bed, my voice cracking as I screamed. "Dada!" The sound of my parents' footsteps thundered down the hall. My dad burst in, his face wild with confusion. I could only point, my whole body shaking. My dad yanked up the bed skirt, and there he was, a stranger, a full-grown man hiding under my bed. My dad didn't hesitate. He grabbed the guy by the collar, dragging him out as my mom frantically dialed 911. The man barely struggled, his face eerily blank, like he knew his time was up. The police came and took him away that night. Homeless, they said, probably just looking for shelter. But I didn't care about his reasons. The damage was done. I couldn't sleep in that room again. Hell, I could barely sleep at all. My dad installed cameras, changed the locks, but none of it mattered. Because the worst part, we had no idea how long he'd been there. The smell, the noises in the night, the fridge left open, the strange feeling of being watched. It could have been days, maybe even longer. And I had been sleeping just inches above him the whole time.